Sanji Chedon, Soji Shunamda, Shanshu Pardo, Dani Jaso, Dagi Jinso, Jibu Sonam, Rola, Penji, Sanji, Druparash, Sanji Chedon, Soji Shunamda, Shanshu Pardo, Dani Jaso, Dagi Jinso, Jibu Sonam, Rola, Penji, Sanji, Druparash, Sanji Chedon, Soji Shunamda, Shanshu Pardo, Dani Jaso, Dagi Jinzo Yewe Tsolam Di Rola Penje Sanje Rubra Sho Dongjin Jingji Songdu Jube Lam Chichir Senze Kanchen Tenzhen Kwen Chang Bama Tenzen Jazo No Suwan Dozo Shen Dun Songdu Sho Ramcham Songru Pungla Tawim Kesan Tarbar Jube Jungo Ju Tsewe Jube Tajin Zaba Yen Senze Shinyan Namla Chang Tse No Panden Zaba Namla Roja Dagi Ningar Bime Gardin Shenbian Gwanin Jinzong No Guzhong Tuji Ngo Zhu Tse Do Su Now we the continue the continues from the seven Dalai Lamas this spiritual song on the view. So we covered up yesterday the Guru devotion, and then homage to compassion, and then the inseparable Guru and the deity. So now now the fourth one on emptiness. Nangxi tsiba shishi jinggu na chunyi tundong we sige nangge je jiri tengi nilu shi tenanda loje pa na tongsang jinggu gordo. This is the viewpoint is very related to the compassion. Yesterday we talked about renunciation. We talked about the bit of bodhicitta. So now that's renunciation. Renunciation without having good understanding on the viewpoint. Bodhicitta without understanding on a viewpoint. Then it is, we could say, incomplete picture. Because when renunciation, the main purpose is to get rid of the suffering, the cause of the suffering. If you cannot understand all the suffering and the cause of the suffering, which are the negative emotions and then the karma, if these two, you really don't know that where it is coming from, which is the ignorance mind, which is why the Heart Sutra becomes very important, where Buddha says this is the mother of the three Buddhas. Once you don't realize this, once you don't have an understanding of that, then there's no main refuge in our life. So for that understanding, with this advice, now This is very beautiful if you look at the Guru devotion, then the compassion, and then the taking refuge in a deity, the main purpose of these three. Now, what you are really looking towards to achieve something is the real antidote, which in our normal, one ordinary life, when we listen to the teaching of emptiness, it sounds like true. But on the day-to-day life, when the most difficult part is to connect that all the things that appears to us, that we always get some kind of something solid from its own state, its own truly existence. So we can point there. It comes from its own standing, a kind of not dependent on anything, but inherently something there. So what that kind of inherent existence, all the four schools has a different understandings, which is we call Buddha knows how much we are ready to understand the antidote. This is very important. As Buddha, we normally say he's omniscient. This is very powerful. Because he is omniscient, he knows in our human capacity, understanding on the antidote level, there should be always four, not more than four, not less than four. So this school, four school, which gives the presentation on what is self, what is selfless, what is emptiness, what is inherent existence. With this school, the big discussion, everything is designed for us to understand how we grasp towards something. So, going more deeper into antidote, even I give you this presentation, if you look at my mind, because you cannot understand my mind, I can feel my mind. I cannot feel much. Why? Yesterday I mentioned, because we don't have the patient-like feeling. We don't feel we are suffering. If the mosquito is not there, then we feel like perfect, okay. So when perfect, this mosquito and a little bit fever and a little bit of gut problem, so then we feel suffering, right? So these are manifest. Sometimes we can say too late problem. It's too late situation. There's nothing we can do. It's manifested. The real brave one is we think a little bit ahead before the problem. So that's why if you look at the three types of suffering, the manifest, which there's nothing much that we can do at that point. But then we go to the suffering of change. Then there is something we feel like, oh, now right now I'm enjoying, but it does not last. But it will change somehow in the due to the other conditions. It might change into a difficult point in a suffering. So then getting ready to understand what's coming up, precaution. But then the most important is the Buddha's statement becomes very powerful here. The Buddha says in a very simple language, saying, if you are born in this world, you have to suffer in these two sufferings somehow. Even you are born in the higher realm like a gods, but in the time of the death comes, you need to suffer again. So that's the once we get this kind of form body, this kind of rebirth, remember this comes as a package, complimentary. That's better, isn't it? Complimentary breakfast. So I think because the Buddha has, before him become Siddhartha becoming Buddha, he has a deep understanding on that, the pervasive suffering. So his way of looking for antidote is different than how we are looking for the antidote. So that's quite important, isn't it? So we are looking for antidote, for pujas or some kind of rituals, some kind of tension. So this one becomes very important. So as a Dhamma practitioner, we really need to, each and every day, if you wanted to bring some kind of awareness, we need to have a quite a practice on to bring the awareness that am I suffering on the third level? So according to that, then you will try to find the antidote which is not stronger antidote than the emptiness. Why? One of my teachers, when he was giving a teaching, and then he asked me a question during the class, and he said, what is the root of the suffering? And I studied it for some time, so with his kindness and other teachers' kindness, so I feel like I know that answer. And then I kind of proudly answer ignorance mind. And my teacher was giving us some thought, and then he slowly answered, normally we say like that, but that is sometimes not very powerful. But if you look at the future Buddha materials text, Gyulama is what in English, I don't know. In Gyulama, in that text, in one of the commentary of Gyulama, the Lama Tsongkhapa student Gyatso Rinpoche mentioned the root of the suffering is rebirth. That rebirth, the cause of that rebirth, then it is the negative emotion and karma. Then this karma and all this is always connected with the ignorance mind. So if you put that way, this is like breaking into a nice way to connect the dots. So normally what we do is, when we say the root of the suffering is the ignorance mind, and then to understand emptiness and practice, and it doesn't bring the flavor. Even it's a right, but it's like a huge You cannot jump from that to that like that without any practice. So first you need to jump from like a short distance, then train, and then you reach there. So my teacher was so kind to uh, show this example. So now when we say what is the root of the suffering, so now without any doubt we have to say rebirth. Here it's difficult to hold the position. Sorry?
Could you repeat that a little bit?
What is the root of the suffering? We don't go directly saying ignorance, even though it is. But then we say, we break down, the root of the suffering is rebirth. Rebirth. So normally, how we practice is, I wanted to deal with the negative emotions. I wanted to take the karma out. I wanted to eliminate the ignorance mind. Then we skip the biggest chunk of the rebirth. Because in the many sutras, like arhats, in the Theravada school, Hinayana schools, they are not focusing on ignorance directly. Their focus is to stop the rebirth. So it's more like, it sounds for me, if somebody who has a migraine every day, then sometimes they will say, wish I don't have a hat. My mother would always say that because she always had this migraine. I call her and say, still you have headache, I guess. So she says, yes, I wish I don't have that hat. So they're similar, because rebirth. So if you start enjoying the rebirth, you wanted to born, you wanted to, we will never say, I want to suffer, but we will always say, I want to be reborn. And this is something who would say that it's person who has a quite understanding on pervasive suffering, which is the third one. So if I ask you all, and because we are Dhamma brothers and sisters, how many of you this morning when you are doing your sadhana, okay, sadhana, and then who prayed, may never I reborn in the samsara. We might pray that, but we never say, I don't like this rebirth. So now we need to know how to make this connection. So Buddha was looking for that antidote because he does not like. In the story, we see very clearly, in a very common storytellers, the life story of the Buddha is like, oh, he sees aging, death, sickness, and all this poverty, and then he had a renunciation. That's very normal. But in the book, it never says all this problem, this aging, the suffering, and then dying. Why? Very simple answer. Because we are born. Once we are born, we need to deal this with again and again for sure, 100%. Nobody can escape that. So that Buddha was looking for that kind of antidote. What is something that I can seize the rebirth? He didn't go directly, I want to seize the ignorance mind. So we need to bring that kind of a level. So then I think we are talking about in the stages of path, we are talking about the middle scope. So now, when in order to seize the rebirth, that is not only the Buddhists are doing only this practice. Many Hindus and other religion, non-Buddhists were practicing that. So the Buddha enrolled this kind of schools and look for that kind of antidote. And then somebody saying like, if I punish my body, this is because the reason we punish that, then it will cease all the negative emotions. So if the fasting, the way of they're doing fasting, all the torture, all this because they wanted to cease the karma and the negative emotions. So they have this kind of practice already, but which Buddha always thinks like, oh, somehow there's missing. So then he did some kind of research that if there is still, the mind is much stronger. It is not the body. This is not only about rebirth. It's more about the power of the mind, which mind we have strong, clinging to something, then somehow it continues. Okay, I got this one now. What is next? I don't know. Surprise. I hope not bigger ones now. This house again. Seize my rebirth. Yeah. So then, I think at the time of his analytical, that's why Buddha did all this analytical meditation before. Not he just went directly under the tree and meditated. He did those analytical meditation when he received the teachings from his the Buddhist teachers. So then he could that's why he had a habit of saying, don't follow me because I'm a holy person. Check on my words. So because he has this habit, that's what he's sharing with us. Yeah, very important. So this analytical, without this analytical, we might go on the bit of, let's see, if I say directly, wrong direction for sure. So that's why our kind, His Holiness Dalai Lama, always not rush us to do some advanced practice. Many lamas, they will teach you whatever you want, to be honest. But His Holiness really does not want to spoil us. His Holiness he says, I have so many tantric practices, so many other things, but I do it very fast. Not breaking the commitment, I'm doing it. But my main focus is, he will always say, oh, I love this book, Entering to the Middle Way. He says, even during the pandemic, he said, well, if you come and look on my table, other textbooks is not on my table, only Entering to the Middle Way is there. So he gives this big kind of message to all of us actually. So now it comes to how the Buddha, he really analyzed, which is for us also, not for only him. The most important that once you are left with a small clinging part, then all these negative emotions, karma, and then negative emotions are there, somehow we need to take the rebirth again and again. Why we are taking rebirth? Because of attachment. How can you prove that? Because I have a wish to go to Bali. Okay? So that's why through my attachment, I'm looking for a hotel booking. All this comes wish of doing something. And if I don't get the room, I feel like, oh my goodness, now what will happen? All this worry, everything just comes directly to me. It's a sign. It is a sign that I have a strong attachment to go. Even I feel like relax here, some part here it's already booked. my one part of my brain is already booked. So similarly, that in the all these four schools, these layers of taking out the pill of the how we grasp so strongly, and the now because we don't have much time to discuss, and I'm not qualified to teach you that, and my English is very limited, but somehow in uh, uh, the 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 top school, which is the Pasankika school, this teaching can you hear? Okay, you can come here then. Are you sure? Yeah, we can bring that here. Huh? Oh, on my nose. That's better, right? My nose works better than my mouth. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's for you.
From you also. Several of us
Yeah,
have hearing
yeah.
problems.
Yeah. So let's do like that. This is what? Okay. Better? Okay. Uh, you can make a statue like that. Yeah. New one. Yeah. The give me. Yeah. So can you give me a wipe?
Yeah, yeah, baby wipe. Someone
Baby
brought
wipe.
yesterday. No oil, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wipe.
Baby wipe. Baby wipe. No, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. This goes up. The shakti shida tangwa. Jago.
Wait.
Yes.
Do that.
Ah.
Oh, so and the birds are just arrived.
Okay.
You want to
Sure.
release them now?
Just to maybe. What's the time? We have 30 more minutes.
30
The,
more.
the
It's
bird,
just
if you can put the bird nearby, they can also listen a bit.
30 minit lagi tapi tolong burung dibawa di sini.
Just put somewhere near so they might have some imprints. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is all.
Where do you want them?
Yeah, you're not very close because they make a lot of sound.
Or maybe
Yeah.
just to yeah.
Oh, the, this is very unique because we have a now background music. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. Now focus should be here, huh? So now in the Pasankaka school, where the, there are so many things we feel cling to. We cling to all the phenomena. Whenever we talk about any kind of object, we feel clinged. But most clinging that really can be the root of all the samsara is yourself, that I. Because I is the most important for everybody, everyone. Whoever says, I want to be happy, that is a sign that you have a clinging to the I for sure, 100%. So that I, how we identify this I, how we look in, normally we always feel like inherently there is something that I. How much we say we are dependent on the five aggregates. But to be honest, one of the best meditation now which we are going to do in a few minutes later, this meditation on where is that I, in the Heart Sutra, from the top to the bottom, the conversation between the Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, so that really comes to tear down all the five aggregates and then say, where is that solid I, inherent I, this intrinsic nature of I, where is that? So, most important, I give you a tip. So we are going to discuss that in our afternoon session. It is very important. Even you take down that through the five aggregates, that there is no inherently I from its own, from all the four of the five aggregates, you still feel there should be somewhere there, which is separate from even you will have this kind of a strong habit of feeling there's I. For these small birds here, these sentient beings, they don't have a feeling like that I is from these five aggregates, within the five aggregates. They don't have that. But they still have this feeling within the, or maybe not within the five aggregates, there is this I solitarily somewhere. It's which we call innate I. That innate I we need to recognize where this is, that is. So, it is the most difficult part. The most difficult part for all the schools, when they, for us we don't feel that, but for the school, the four schools, they understand if the I is not within the five aggregates, like for the Chittamantra school, for the Lama Silingpo's point of view, if the I is not within the consciousness, if it is not the consciousness itself, then if you say there, then it sounds like there's no I. Then it becomes a nihilism. It sounds like there's nothing at all. So it becomes like, then who am I? Am I fully mistaken? Am I confused? Am I going crazy? All these are there. But the Prasankika school is something like bringing this presentation in the quotation of here, 7th Dalai Lama, it says, Nangshin Seba Shiji Jingo Chinye Tundam Seke Nangeke Jede Tungi Nilushi Tenanda Lojebang Dongsang Order. He's saying look into all the reality. Things does not exist by its own. That is the nature of the phenomena. We are not here to destroy the nature of the phenomena because we really not seeing the nature of the phenomena. That's a bigger problem. So the nature, it is very nice. You can ask this question in this afternoon. See, one of the most powerful quotation I ever seen by the Chandrakirti in the Clear Words, which is the commentary for the Root of Wisdom by Nagarjuna. In this, I think it's the 15th chapter. In there he says, in this world, many people say, when we ask is the boiling water, you boil the water, that boiling water, that hot water, what is the nature of this hot water? Is it hot? Then people will definitely say it's not hot. The nature of the hot water is a cold, because it goes back to the cold. Right? Do we say that or not? This is an example, you shouldn't confuse with that. The element, water element, it should be cool, not hot. Once you put heat, then it becomes hot. But because the nature of the water or the hot water is cold, it goes back to its own nature. It's a cold water. That's why we say the nature of the water is cold. Right? Do we agree? Okay. So example is good. Now, the main difficult part. Now in this text, the commentary, the 15th chapter, Clear Words, Chandakirti says, if you ask Buddha, if you ask Arya, what the what is the nature of the if you ask that continues if you ask the same people that who says the nature of the hot water is not hot or cold, if you ask that person, still he holds to the idea that the nature of the water is cold. And then Chandrakirti says, which is very stupid. That sounds so amazing. When I said that in Italy, all the people looked at me like, are you crazy? What do you mean? So there is the point there. So when we ever say what is the nature of this, so we stop where like it's a cold, it's a hot, it's a that and that. We describe so many things. But the reality, if there's that cannot represent anything. The water, the heat cannot, the cold cannot represent water. It's really true. If you have a really open mind, your five aggregates cannot represent you. Why? Do you want me to tell you why?
Yes.
Because it says it represents you. If he is your representative, that is not you. Okay? If he is the representative of Indonesian, he is not Indonesia. Right? Can you agree with that? Like if he's representative of His Holiness, he's not His Holiness Dalai Lama for sure. We can say that. So this flag of the Indonesia represents Indonesia. That means that flag is not Indonesia. Similarly, it's the logic there. So whatever it represents, that it is not that for sure. That for sure. You have to keep this in your mind. So similarly, the water, the nature of the water, the cold, we can say, in the worldly we can say it can represent or something, but on the ultimate level, that's why it becomes ultimate level, that cannot represent, the cold cannot represent the water. Or the ultimate level. So when we ever talk about what is that, what is the true identity of that, we are actually talking about the ultimate truth. So on the ultimate level, then they say no nose, no ear, no sound, nothing. We cannot present anything there. Because in our stupid this mind, which is the ignorance, it always gets something to cling on. So then the confusion starts. And then you say this, even though I don't have so much hatred, but that my enemy makes really uncomfortable. He has a one solid, I'm 100% sure, we are 100% sure that person is getting something to cling on that kind of a solid inherent the inherent enemy from its side. So keep this in mind. Now we are going to meditate, okay? So let's meditate or look at all the example of the phenomena around you, even this tree. Where is that tree? Now we are not talking about we lost a tree and where is that tree. We are not asking this question. We are asking what is the nature of the tree. So we are going to see this inherent existence. It appears to you it is solitary somewhere there. But then you look at the branches and the roots and the what is the skin. Can you see skin? It's good English. What's that? Bark.
Like dog. The bark.
Bark. Okay, bark. Nothing is from inside. The water element, the fire element inside that there's no tree from its own there. 100% sure. And then you bring this into you. Where is that I? My nose, ear. When I say I'm not feeling well, that feeling is not me. When I said, oh, I feel sad, that emotion is not I. So that is within this you need to bring, and then you hold to the true nature, which is the ultimate truth. So we try to stay focused on that. Which through that you understand and stay on that, you got the liberation. But if you let go, then you are in samsara. So now let's meditate and then try to analyze a bit. For 1 minute, try to analyze where is this solid I that I hold so dearly up to now, and then loosen yourself and then try to stay in that one true nature, which is the ultimate truth. Okay, we meditate that for like 4 5 minutes. Okay. It will be very difficult to point where is that I. It should be, because now we are on the level of ultimate truth. But that is not, we are not trying to destroy the I, which is the relative I, which is the illusion like I. In order to realize things like illusion, things like the relative truth, unless you don't have the strong understanding on the ultimate level, then how much you try to say it's like illusion, how much you say it's a relative, how much you say it's a dependent, but you always get one deep side in your bottom of your heart, or one side of your brain will always cling to this inherent existence. So which we always get a point to say to get this ignorance mind a chance to hold on something. So that we need to bring into practice, and how much you want to practice, which in this now the meditation sequence of the sixth Dalai Lama, in the last part, which is also included in the emptiness part, which then he says, after this, so now then, even you see things, hear things, now there's a chances you will ask a question. If things does not exist by its own, then what I'm seeing is it's a fake or what? So then automatically, with the quiet understanding, you can say, because things cannot depend on, the things exist, does not exist by its own, so it's dependent. Through dependence, it can arise. So the dependent arising becomes so very important. Otherwise, it looks like we understand the quiet nature of the dependent arising and dependent, but how much we say deep inside, we always have so much clinging towards our way of ultimate truth, which is things exist by its own. So keeping this in the mind, and now we release these birds, and then that we pray, once we liberate them, we are not just liberating from this cage. We are, in the future, they might be our students, that we can give this teaching, and then they have the capacity of the human brain, intelligent, and then we can give this teaching to them, and then we once again release them from the samsara. Maybe they might release us. Doesn't matter. Someone has to release. So thank you very much. Chanjo semenjo rembo che ma je ba na ma ye jo je ke ba nyam ba me ba ya kon ne gon do pe wa sho chanjo semenjo rembo che ma je pa na ma ye yo je ke ba nyam ba me ba ya kon ne gon do be wa sho cha